Hello everyone, and welcome to Module 2, Lesson 1, which is called Adding Integers. Make sure that you write this title. I know we haven't done a video in a while, but make sure you write the title on the top of your paper, and next to it write Module 2, Lesson 1. So we are going to talk about using number lines to add integers. Remember that whenever we have a slide like this, that you write the slide title, so using number lines, and write both of these bullet points. The first one says positive numbers to the right, negative numbers to the left. Right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to practice not only plotting on a number line, but using a number line to help us add numbers that are positive and negative. So our rules for adding. I know this looks kind of long, but please write both bullet points down as well as that title. Our first rule says, or our only rule really, when adding a positive and a negative, you keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. Okay. Now, absolute value, we have not talked about that in this class. I don't know if you learned it last year or not. That's why I put the definition right down here, where absolute value is our distance from 0. All right, I want you to look at my example. I put little bars right here around 5. What those bars mean is those say absolute value. Okay, so that reads my example. The absolute value of 5 equals 5. You do not have to write this number line down. This is just to show you something. If I was on a number line, and here's 0, and I were to put negative 5, it would go over here, right? Because it's negative. It goes to the left. This distance from 0 means if I were to count, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little places away from 0. It's 5 units, you could call that. Okay, so again, you do not have to draw that number line, but absolute value is just the distance from 0. So every negative number will have an absolute value that is positive because it's just a distance. Okay. So our first example, this is what we're going to be practicing today, is kind of thinking about how to solve problems like 7 plus negative 4 using a number line. So whenever we use a number line, like we talked about in class today, we always need to start at 0. So if I'm going to show 7, I'm going to represent it with an arrow, and it's positive 7. Positive means I go which direction? I hope you guys said right, because positive numbers go to the right. So I'm going to go 7 to the right. So this right here, it would be an arrow to show 7 on my number line. Now I'm going to add negative 4. Now I know I'm adding, and you guys want to think addition goes to the right, but I'm adding a negative 4. And as you learned, negative numbers go to the left. Now I'm not going to start at 0 for this one. I started at 0 for the 7, so I'm going to stay here at 7 to plot my negative 4 because it's an addition problem. So I'm going to start here and move back 1, 2, 3, 4 places on my number line. This shows us negative 4. And where I end is going to be my answer. So I follow it down right here to 3. Okay, so my ending point is my answer. So this shows me that 7 plus negative 4 equals 3. If you have not followed along on your number line already, please get those number lines that I gave you in class today, and go ahead and mark this on one of your number lines. If you have different colors to use to show your positive and negative, you can use those. If not, a pencil will work just fine. Just make sure you label it like I have here and here. So if you didn't already label that with me, go ahead and click pause and fill that out. But I am going to move on to example number 2. Now example 2 says 3 plus negative 6. So go ahead and follow along with me on that number line paper that I gave you in class on the second one, because this is example 2. So 3 plus negative 6. My first number is going to start here at 0. right? And it's positive 3, so I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now I have plus a negative 6. And negative means which direction? I hope you all said to the left. So I'm going to count 6 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here, and this shows us negative 6. And where I end is going to be my answer. Okay, so 3 plus negative 6 equals negative 3. Now, I want to point something out. Remember how I told you that whenever we are adding a positive and a negative number, our answer keeps the sign of our number with the largest absolute value. If I look at both numbers here, 3 and negative 6, you do not have to write all this down. I just want to show this to you. My absolute value of 3 equals 3. My absolute value of negative 6 equals 6. Because remember, it's just the distance from 0. And because negative 6 has the larger absolute value, that's why our answer is negative. So we kept the sign of this number because it has the larger absolute value. Notice that our answer and the negative 6 both have the same sign. And we will talk a lot more about that in class. I just want you guys to see that working and see how that happens. So whenever we are no longer using number lines, you'll be able to get the right sign of your answer. Okay, so I hope you've all had time to copy this down. I'm going to move on to the last problem. And this one is going to be your try it problem. So please, like I've said, promise me that you'll try it. Don't just click play, or don't just listen through for the answer. But please click pause on the video and try it. Alright, so I hope you guys all were able to do that problem. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you the answer. So we have show 2 plus negative 5. Remember, for the first number, we always start at 0. So I'm going to start here, 0, and go to the right, 1, 2. Okay, so that shows us 2. Now I need to add negative 5. Negative says that we go in the left direction, so we're going to go 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that shows us that our answer, just like our last problem, is negative 3. Okay. So hope you guys got the hang of this and that you are ready to show me what you have learned tomorrow in class. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.